Recently, Greene County, Missouri broke its COVID-19 daily record when a trailer in one of their jails, reported that every prisoner in that trailer was tested positive. We're going to talk today with Katie Cole. She has been talking directly to prisoners inside, and prisoners inside report that officials didn't do the things they needed to do to keep them safe. Katie, welcome. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Okay, first, can you give us an understanding of how many people, prisoners and guards, tested positive?
Yeah, it's actually kind of hard to know, to be perfectly honest with you. Originally, there were 108, I believe, inmates in the trailer at one time. Initially, around 70 some tested positive, and they were taken out of the trailer and put into a pod in the regular jail building. And then about 30 inmates were left in the regular trailer to quarantine. And then they retested everybody, and everybody tested positive. So they moved the rest of the people back into the trailer. As of Friday, the jail was reporting 78 people had tested positive. However, they are only reporting active cases and people who are still incarcerated. So that number is likely cumulatively a lot higher. And they were still awaiting test results on, I think, 10 people. And then guards, there were 34 people as of Friday who tested positive of roughly, I think, 70 some tests. So a very good portion of staff had tested positive as well.
Okay, so you talk to prisoners inside the jail. What are they reporting to you in terms of how the conditions was before the pandemic and during the pandemic and now? Can you kind of like give us an overview of what it was like in there?
Yeah, as much as I can, as much as I've been told. I've talked to roughly a dozen inmates now. And, uh, they've reported that the trailer um, overall was probably one of their least, if you can say favorite, but one of the worst places to be, I guess is probably the best way to say that. One of the worst places that most of them have been. And because of overcrowding in the jail, our inmates are shipped around a lot to other counties. So that's kind of saying something, right? To say that this is one of the worst places that they've reported being. But now that the pandemic has hit, they're scared, uh, and they're all really worried, and they report people being sick. They sleep in bunks. It's a bunk style, so they're stacked on top of each other essentially for sleeping, and it's just one big room. So in an environment like that, the virus can spread really quickly, which contributed to their fear before they even tested positive.
So what's the protocol? I mean, obviously there's supposed to be a mask protocol, social distances. Is that possible inside the trailer jail?
I mean, physical distancing, definitely not. It's a small area. I mean, they say that if you spread your arms out, you can touch both ends of the trailer, and it's just, I mean, it's a trailer. It's just a long, but I think it's three of them smushed together, kind of. And there's a day room on one side, basically, and then bathrooms and everything on the other side. And that's not possible. Our county actually here did not implement a mask requirement. They did not have any kind of mask mandate ever. Our city proper did, but not the county. So masks actually weren't required, and the inmates were not given masks until after the first case was already reported inside that facility.
Okay, so I was going to ask you what the trailer jail thing is in itself, but I think you just explained it. What's the official response toward this total outbreak in the trailers? Have you talked to the officials about it?
Yeah, they're not answering a lot of my questions, quite frankly. So most of my information has been based on what people inside and their family members have told me, and kind of obviously I do my due diligence. I cross check with the sheriff's office, and they answer the questions that they decide to answer. Um, but they've kind of maintained that they are providing as safe of an environment as they can. And of course, it is difficult once it gets inside an environment like that. It is difficult to keep it under wraps, just by the nature of how close people are together. It's very difficult.
Well, what should friends, family, loved ones be doing right now if everybody that's is in that trailer is positive? What needs to happen, and what can people outside do about it?
I, I'm quite frankly, I don't know. I wish I did, but there have been protests in recent weeks. To give people masks more frequently. They've only been changed out every few days, and that's a supply issue. However, they've been pushing to get them to change those out more frequently. There have also been pushes just to get people quicker medical care. That's something that the family members have been pushing for as well. So these people are advocating for those folks quite a bit. But other jails across the country obviously have released more people in response, people with lower level offenses. So that's certainly something. And our prosecutor told me that they have been doing that over time. But he kind of indicated to me that they might consider doing a little bit more, and releasing more people, just in order to keep it as under wraps as they possibly can.
Mhm. Well, Katie, can you keep us updated if there's any changes or if this spreads into the larger jail?
Yeah, I actually reported yesterday, so or this morning, the story published that it did spread to the regular. I'm getting reports that it has spread to the larger building. Now, I cannot possibly get that confirmed because when I asked, the jail officials did not confirm it. But that's something that I'm hearing from the people inside, and they have been telling me that folks from other pods have been transferred into the jail for or into the trailer for quarantine. So I'm trying to keep on top of that, and I will definitely keep you guys posted as I find out more.
Okay, thank you for joining me then.
Yeah, well, thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
And thank you for joining this episode of Rattling the Bars.